Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Nisi Learns to Tarot. And of course I am Nisi, your hostess with the mostest, head weirdo, lead dork, and goofball extraordinaire. So we are back with another video today, as you can see, and it's going to be a tag video. So I saw this video on my dear friend Rachele's channel, Amethyst Ascension, and I thought I would go ahead and do this tag. She did not originate this tag. I think it came from a channel called, oh gosh, I think her name is Cody, and I think it's Tarot Readings from a Bitch. I think I've watched maybe one of her videos. I really need to see if I can find the original video and look at that. But anyway, before we actually get started, I will just go ahead and do the housekeeping stuff out of the way. If you like my content, please, please, please subscribe to my channel. I have 3 subscribers right now. Oh my gosh, yeah. So, I mean, I started this channel about a week ago. I've got 3 subscribers right now. Hello to Rachele, Amethyst Ascension, mwah. And hello to also my dear friend Corey, also my coloring buddy, now my witchy buddy. Hello to you too. Mwah. She also, she came over here from my other channel, which is called Nisi's Sanctuary, which is my coloring, crafting, crochet, journaling, you know, that channel. She has been a longtime subscriber there. We became very, very good friends, and she followed me over here too. And also that channel is active over there too. So that channel is not defunct. This is just a new addition to my YouTube resume. But anyway, like I said, housekeeping stuff. Please subscribe to my channel if you like my content. And being new, well, being a new channel, I need all the help I can get. So please subscribe. And hit the notification bell so you can be notified when future videos do become available. Put that like button to good use. That really helps me out quite a bit, and that would do me such a solid. I would love that. And leave a comment and tell me what you guys think. Yeah, so anyway, we're going to go ahead and get on with this tag. So it's answering some questions, and I didn't take any notes or anything, but I do have the questions on my iPad here, so we're going to just kind of refer back to that. Now, you're going to see me needing to get kind of up close and personal with my iPad like this, and if I didn't say it before, I know I've said it on my other channel, but if I haven't said it here before, I do have a significant visual impairment, so please bear with me. It's just, I was born with it. I have a condition called optic nerve atrophy. I have no eyesight. Nope, you heard it. No eyesight in my left eye, and just very little in my right eye. So when I read, I have to kind of like, pretty much like just about make out with my materials. That's just the way it is. I mean, you know, it is what it is, and we make do, we adapt, and I just, you know, I try to keep a good sense of humor, and I hope you can all figure out that I like to have fun. I'm a lot of fun. I like to interject humor. Yeah, so anyway, on with the program. So, okay guys, sorry about that. You know, it seems like every time I go to try to record a video, either the phone rings or the doorbell rings or something. But yeah, I got a package that they dropped off, and they just wanted to let me know they were there. Anyway, let's go ahead and get on with this thing, right? So the first question, now I don't have any pre-written notes or anything, just the questions written out here on my iPad. So I should warn you guys, I should have said this in the beginning, this video may get a little long-winded. I love to jabber, I love to chat, love to yak it up, so yeah, I will talk your ear off. So forewarned, go grab yourself something to drink or a snack, grab a cup of tea or coffee, whatever your beverage of choice is. Feel free to grab an adult beverage. I got mine right here, my little can of brewski, yahoo! So, take us a little drink before we dive in here. So, our first question, I'm going to grab my iPad. Our first question is, what is your tarot experience? And not much. I must say, like, not much. pretty new at this. I'll kind of tell you my story. I'll try not to get too long-winded, you know, telling you my story, which I do have one. If you would have told me probably 20 years ago that I'd be collecting tarot decks and learning the tarot and looking at crystals and you know, like calling myself a witch, which like I've kind of come to the conclusion that I am a witch. I'm a secular witch though, because I don't identify as Wiccan, and I don't identify as you know, being a part of a you know, pagan type religion. And this will kind of be a little bit clear to you as I tell you my story a little bit. I'll try not to give you the whole like long story, like how I would say once upon a time on a very, very cold January evening, I was born a young human being, which I was declared a girl. Okay. See, I told you I was a freaking weirdo. But yeah, so anyway, the long and short of it is that if you would have told me 20 years ago that I'd be doing something like this, I would have laughed in your face and I would have said, hell no, no way, no how, because I was brought up in a very, I'm not going to say conservative, well, okay, I will say conservative, but it was a very fundamentalist Christian environment. If you're familiar with, you know, like Assemblies of God, Pentecostal kind of thing, it's it's part of the Christian religion, but it's not your main, you know, your mainstream sect, I guess. It's depending on, and there's different degrees of this too, but you know, depending on which church you went to, which one you kind of identified with. Well, I will say it's, if you're not used to something like that, it's very, very weird. You're going to find it very strange. It's not like how you would go into, like, say, a Methodist church service or you know, like a Lutheran church service. Definitely not Catholic. It's very, well, you probably heard the term holy rollin'. And yeah, it's very apt. So anyway, I was brought up in that environment, and I mean, I used to love going to church, but you know, fast forward a few years, I met my husband, we got married, and he grew up Lutheran, so he really wasn't comfortable in a Pentecostal church, and I was to the point that I was ready to get out of there because I just, you know, just the judgmental attitudes and things that I would come across, and just sometimes the way I was treated, like, you know, they believe in divine healing, and you know, like I said, I was born with this visual impairment, and so I don't know how many times, I quit counting after like 3, I guess, but I don't know how many times they'd march me up to the altar. Oh, well, we got to pray you get your eyesight back. Well, number one, I never had it to begin with. You know, I never had full eyesight, so I can't get back what I never had. And number two, well, obviously it didn't happen. Now, yeah, it didn't happen. And so because it didn't happen, boy, I don't know how many times, again, I was told that, oh gosh, I had lack of faith, I was living in sin, there's something in my life holding me back, blah, 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 blah. And let me tell you, it really does a number on your self-esteem. And I mean, it was like this whole big rule book that you had to play by. And my then stepmom, she was a big part of it. And I mean, it's like, oh, don't touch any of that alcohol, you'll go to hell. Don't say any bad words, you'll burn forever. Well, if you're not healed, boy, you're living in sin, and God is punishing you, and well, you know, yeah, so it really does a number on your self-esteem. And you know, fast forward some years later, I was ready to get out of there, and you know, I didn't need that in my life. So my husband and I, we went to a more mainstream, you know, Methodist church for quite a long time. I was actually quite active in that. I was in the choir. I'm actually a classically trained singer. I'm a professional singer. And so yeah, I was, my college degree was in music. I taught voice lessons and beginning piano, and I also taught flute lessons since like 1995 when I graduated college. And this is probably gonna, you know, I'm dating myself here totally. And so I sang in the choir. I was, you know, real active in the music program, and I was also active on a couple of committees, and I was president of one of the groups there, and, you know, went to Bible study, all that. So, you know, we did that for a long time, and, you know, it just, church politics, again, judgmental attitudes, and I'm not going to go into the whole thing, but there was history there, and you know, and then we were also becoming more active in the Lions Club, and so I was not available to go to church as often, and it just got to the point that my husband and I, by mutual agreement, we just didn't want to go anymore, and we weren't in any kind of hurry to find a new church to go to. We just, you know, we just didn't feel that you had to go to, you know, any kind of church, you know, to fulfill your, you know, your spiritual life and such. And so we just, you know, we pretty much just kind of do our thing at home. I still identify as being, you know, my beliefs are still, you know, Christian based, and the, you know, the higher power that I address, you know, I address the higher, you know, my higher power that I pray to is God. I know a lot of you, you know, call it the universe, and you know, some of you have, you know, different deities and stuff that you identify with, and but yeah, you know, this is kind of just, you know, what I always knew, and I still identify with that. However, I'm a renegade. I'm a renegade, and you know, I've done a lot of searching. I actually, a few years ago, fast forward a few years from, I don't know, about 3 years ago, I guess, and I started having a spiritual awakening. It was after my my third leader dog had died. You know, being visually impaired, I have I've had guide dogs since 1992, and we call them, or at least the ones that I have, we call them leader dogs, because that's the facility that they came from, was Leader Dogs for the Blind in Rochester, Michigan. And so anyway, after my third one died, I'm on my fourth one now. Like I said, since 1992, you know, so I mean, this ain't my first rodeo. But anyway, after my third one had died, he was a beautiful, beautiful golden retriever named Caleb, and I had a very unique experience that, you know, I never had anything like that ever happen to me before. And the story was, it was like a couple days after he had passed, and I mean, Caleb, he was my heart. And so the pain of even though we were expecting it, just the pain of his loss was just so catastrophic, just so horrible. You know, it was just, it was bad. And so I was in the kitchen one night, and you know, I was doing dinner, and you know, when I'm doing stuff in the kitchen, like I'm always singing, always humming something, and I mean, you know, I just wasn't feeling it. I mean, just the pain of Caleb not being there, you know, was just so crushing to me. And I was digging out a pan, and I just remember feeling just this weight, you know, upon my heart, and you know, my chest just literally hurt, and it just, you know, it went like all the way up into my throat, and it was, yeah. And so anyway, I think I must have felt something, because like I turned my head, and now Caleb always had this rug that he laid on in the kitchen, you know, kind of out of the way, like when we were doing stuff, and I swear, like I saw him there. He wasn't solid, he was kind of transparent, like around the edges, and pardon me if I cry, you know, about this a little bit, but because it still chokes me up at times. So, you know, he wasn't transparent, or he wasn't solid, he was kind of transparent around the edges a little bit, and I just kept kind of hearing, like, in my head, and getting these images, like, where's the music, and I would picture these music notes, and I would hear, in my head, just like phrases that I would sing, from songs that I love to sing, just different phrases I would sing, and just musical phrases, like, in my head that I liked, and it just happened over a split second. It didn't last very long at all. And, because like a second later, I mean, he was gone. He wasn't there. But it was like, where's the music? Why aren't you singing? And I'm okay, and such. So, I mean, it's still just, yeah. So, I mean, nobody will ever convince me that didn't happen. So I think it was just something, that my spirit guides, God, the universe, Caleb, needed, they knew that I needed that, I guess, that last vision, I guess, experience. And it just, it just got me to thinking that, there's kind of more to my existence, my life, than what I was living. And so, yeah, it started me on the path to, just sort of think about things and to explore these avenues that I've never really gone down before. Now, I will say that, and this kind of got me into collecting more decks and stuff, but I will say, I think I want to say back in 2009, I had gone shopping with a friend, and I was just kind of fascinated. Well, let me tell you, first of all, about, oh my gosh, like, I'm totally, like, digressing here. I know the question was, like, what is your tarot experience? And I'm getting there. I promise I'm getting there. But going into the actual tarot thing, probably back in, like, 2009. Now, this is before Caleb had passed on. I think I might have just even gotten him, because I got him in January of 2009. But anyway, I had been kind of fascinated with it because I used to be on this like RPG writing group kind of thing, and this other gal who was also a member there, her character did readings with. She was kind of a seer, and she also did readings with tarot cards, and she was it was Harry Potter based, okay? And this character was very versed in divination, and so part of her thing was, she'd do tarot card readings. And so Helen, as this character, she would, and this, I found this out later, but the character's name was Heidi, but Helen, as Heidi, she'd lay out the spread, and she'd actually, tell you what the spread was, and she'd actually tell you what the card was, if it was upright or reversed, and she'd actually write the whole thing up. And the group was operated by email messages. It was on it was a Yahoo group, and so anyway, it operated that way. And so anyway, she'd write up the whole. She'd write up the spread, she'd write up the whole reading. And I asked her one day, I said, Helen, I said, do you do this as a living? Do you do this on a regular basis? And she's like, no, she's like, I really don't know what they mean. She's got I got my little guidebook here, and I just got this deck, and I think it was a regular, like, RWS deck. And, she had a guidebook, and she, sent me a link to the one that she had, and I went and got my copy on Amazon as well as a deck, because I'm like, this is darn cool. This is pretty cool. And so yeah, she was telling me that she really didn't know what the meanings were by looking at the cards. She had to study the book, and but yeah, I mean, she did a hell of a job writing the whole thing up. And so I got my own deck, I got my own book, and we started doing readings on each other's characters, and it was so much fun, guys. I mean, it was just so much fun. So I started using it in my writing projects, and I was actually on another group a couple years after that, and I would have the opportunity to, to write up the different spreads and the readings too, because like my character actually taught, you know, the divination classes, and you know, she would do the readings on people, and so I would actually lay it out. And you know, I would just kind of, you know, tap into my intuition about, like, you know, what the character was like, what they were, you know, about, you know, how they ticked, you know. And so I would do the readings on the characters when the opportunity arose, and it was just so much fun. It was so much fun. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. And I still do. Like, you know, I still use it in my writing projects. I write fiction. Mostly what I have been writing nowadays is I actually have a blog, and I write what's called Simlit. And basically what it is, it's I write the text to the story, and then I go into my Sims game. If you're familiar with any kind of video games, you might have heard of The Sims. And so I go into the game. I make the characters as Sims, and then I will I'll do the screenshots, I'll stage the pictures, and then I will illustrate the story with the screenshots. So yeah, that's pretty much what my energies are in now in terms of writing. I will link the blog in the description section if you want to check it out. That would be cool if it's something that you think you may want to look at. It's very supernatural based. I love supernatural stories. A lot of romance. I love supernatural. I love romance. I love, you know, just the whole fantasy aspect. So yeah, and you know, I put in a little bit of, you know, thriller, you know, stuff. Right now, I don't want to give anything away, but right now, one of my main characters is, she's been presumed dead. She got kidnapped and was presumed dead. So, her family is trying to figure out, you know, now they're, well, I don't want to give it away, but, you know, she was presumed dead, and, you know, was kidnapped by a stalker, and right now, like, nobody is any of the wiser, you know. She was made to appear dead, you know, by magic, and yeah, so just very, very evil, you know, kind of black magic kind of thing. But yeah, so like I said, I'll link that blog in the description section, and if you would want to check it out, that would be awesome. If you do, I hope you enjoy my story. It's kind of an ongoing story called Forever in Time, and I write like little supplements to it as well, and such. But anyway, that's kind of a, I'm digressing here, but it's kind of what led into, again, my writing is, you know, kind of what led into me starting to collect decks and wanting to get into tarot and all that. So I got my first deck, I think, in, I want to say like 2009, and then I went shopping with a friend later on, I think either later on that year or maybe a year later, and I got a couple of oracle decks and some more tarot decks, and yeah, so I started kind of learning it a little bit. Well, then, I don't know, I again, you know, we started getting real active in the Lions Club, and I just didn't have time, you know, as much time for hobbies. So I didn't have as much time for my hobbies as I once did, and so I had to kind of shelf it for a while. I had, you know, I never gave anything away, never sold anything. I did keep them, but I had them kind of like on the back burner on the shelf. I shelved them for a while. And then, I don't know, I just, some years went by, you know, then, you know, life kind of took some different turns, and I'd kind of get back into it a little bit, and then I'd fall off, and you know, I'd just cycle through different things, and so then, like, you know, I'd mess with it a little bit in my writing projects and stuff, and that's kind of like as far as it would go. I'd practice on myself some, and then, I don't know, like after Caleb died and I had that experience, I got more and more into it, as well as like animal communication and that. Yeah, so then I got some more decks, and I'd watch deck collection videos and recommendations, and if I liked the deck, I would get it, and I would, you know, from time to time, again, practice on myself, but I just, like, I do pretty good with learning it, and then I'd kind of fall off, and then I'd have to brush up and relearn the stuff again. So this, like, I'm trying to kind of keep up with, and now that I journal regularly too, which will help, and yeah, because when I was doing it before, I didn't really journal all that much, and you know, now I'm into another one of my hobbies is fountain pens and journaling and journals. So I think the fact that I journal regularly now will kind of help me keep on the path because I really do want to get proficient at it. I have so many decks that I really want to take advantage of and use. I will also do a video of my deck collection. So as far as my experience goes, I mean, I've dabbled in it over the years. I'm still not real like super confident in it. I'm doing pretty good with the majors. Like I'm learning. I've got a lot of them down, I think. And you know, I'm just trying to keep at it, and you know, I'm kind of working on the minors. I'm taking a little class from you guys might have heard of her, Tarot with Ruby. I'm taking her little Learn the Tarot class, and she's a very good teacher, and also just, you know, what I find on YouTube. So anyway, I use it a lot, as I said, in my writing projects, and then also I practice on myself. So, and now that I have this YouTube channel as well, you know, I'm hoping to get in a lot more practice, and now with, you know, social media, you know, I'm hoping to get in a lot more practice and stuff. If I get victims, guinea pigs, I mean, people. Yeah, so I'm hoping to be able to get confident enough to actually, you know, practice on others, you know, other than myself, and on my characters. That would be cool. But yeah, so yeah, that is pretty much my experience, and I'm hoping to gain a lot more knowledge, and to, you know, just get, you know, gain more confidence and get better at this. Okay, so question number 2. Oh my gosh, yeah, that was a long-winded answer, wasn't it? I promise the rest of them are not going to be like that, but you know, I hope, you know, I hope you guys are still with me. I hope you're not bored out of your heads. All right, question number 2. Why do you review decks? Okay, so this channel is very new. Like I said, I did do a review of an Oracle deck the other day. It was a new deck that I had gotten. I'm no stranger to reviewing products, though, and I do have another deck that I just made a video for too. That's going to be going up probably maybe a day after this one is going to be going up. And as I said, I'm no stranger to reviewing products. However, you know, this channel, you know, being that it is new, I've not, you know, reviewed too many decks, but I just enjoy showing. I just enjoy, you know, just sharing the joy and fun of you know, of this hobby, of this, you know, tarot journey, and I just love showing what I have, and I love, you know, trying to, you know, help people maybe try to decide if it's something that they may want to look into or purchase. I don't know, it's just the joy of sharing, you know, this journey, this hobby. You know, the fact that there's so many decks that I love, and you know, just the artwork, and it's just, I do it because I just enjoy it. It's fun, and it's a way of connecting with you guys, and it's just fun. It's just for the joy of doing it, and it's, you know, it's fun. That's all I can say about it. It's fun. And yeah, so all right, question number 3. How did you get into reviewing decks? Well, I mean, I started this channel not very long ago, and I figured that reviewing decks would be a part of what I would do on this channel. And, you know, I've watched other people do it, and as I said, you know, being no stranger to reviewing products, and, you know, I just, and being an outgoing person, I'm used to singing, you know, I'm used to performing, you know, being a professional singer. You know, I'm no stranger to being in front of the camera, in front of an audience, and so I figured it would just be something that I could share my 2 cents worth on, and yeah, so just starting this channel and having quite a collection of decks. I've actually got quite a collection of decks, which again I'll be making a video to share my collection. And yeah, so it's just how did I get into it? Just making this channel and figuring that that would be a part of what I would do on this channel, as part of my learning journey, as part of just my, you know, my dive into this, you know, the subject matter. Okay, question number 4. Do you receive decks for review? I have not. Again, I'm just kind of coming out of the, like, witchy closet, so to speak. And, yeah, it's just, this is just something I haven't really shared with too many people. So this is really, really new to me. So nobody in this community really knows that I'm alive, except for like maybe 3 people. You know, nobody knows that I'm actually, you know, doing this channel. Nobody knows that I'm, you know, here to, you know, here for that. You know, so I've not received any decks to review. Every deck that I've gotten, I've bought with my own money. And I've been collecting them for quite a few years now. I mean, my collection didn't happen overnight. It's been a gradual process. But that's not to say that I wouldn't like to review a deck. I would. I have received other products to review on my other channel, mainly coloring books. Yeah, mainly coloring books and art supplies like coloring pencils, paints, you know, that kind of thing. But yeah, I would definitely enjoy reviewing decks. And how I would do it is, of course, I'd do the box opening and walkthrough, and then I'd probably come back with another video, like a follow-up video after I've used the deck, after I've done some readings with it, you know, some practice with it and such, and you know, come back and review it. But you know, I would definitely do the box opening and walkthrough and my first impressions, and then make other videos where you see me actually use the deck. But yeah, if you know, if I get the opportunity to review decks, I most certainly would, and I would really, really enjoy that. I would. Okay, question number, what are we on? Question number 5. What kind of reader are you? I'm really not sure exactly what you mean by this question. I mean, it could be answered many different ways. I suppose what kind of reader I am, again, it's right now, a lot of it is tarot for writers, you know, because I'm a writer, and I've been using it in my stories. Well, not actually in my stories as of yet, not in my Simlit anyway, but I will be. You know, I've been looking for an opportunity to do that, and I will be. That's going to be a coming attraction very soon, I'm thinking. But you know, I've been using it a lot for different writing projects I've done, and just, you know, on myself. I've not really practiced on a real person before. I'd be very nervous, you know, because I've not done it before. But I need to get the practice in, and you know, I just like, you know, I'm like, oh my gosh, what if they hate me? But yeah, I totally need to practice on a real person. I do want to do that. But for the time being, it's just I've been practicing a lot on myself and in my writing projects. And I like fiddling with, you know, all different spreads. I've done the past, present, future one. I've done, you know, a lot of different variations of the 3-card spread. I want to get better at the Celtic Cross. Now that one's a little bit more difficult. But I enjoy just playing with different spreads and different decks and just, you know, kind of seeing where it leads. Yeah, so basically just I'm kind of in the experimental stages, practicing on myself and just in my writing projects at this point. But I'm hoping that that will change in the very, very near future, and I can kind of expand my horizons, you know, so to speak. All right, so number 6 is, what kinds of decks do you gravitate toward? Well, I like both tarot and oracle decks. I love decks. Well, I have quite a few RWS decks, different versions of that. I have quite a few like RWS clones, I guess. I don't know. I'm a very eclectic collector, so to speak. I love decks with like animals. I love animals. I love decks with dogs. Oh my gosh, a deck that I totally want to get, and it's been out of stock, and I don't know if they're going to reprint them, but oh my gosh, I totally want to get the one called, I think it's called The Way of the Panda. Oh my gosh, it's so stinking cute. Oh my gosh. Oh. I've seen that on, a few years ago I saw that on, I don't know whose channel it was, but I've seen it on a couple of channels. I just thought it was so stinking cute. And I knew it was an indie deck. I looked at the price, and the thing I didn't like was the guidebook for it was sold separately, and it cost almost like as much as the deck did, and you know, the price kind of went, oh, and especially when you had to get the deck and the book separate, it just, that kind of turned me off a little bit. But the deck was just so cute, and I'm haunted now that I never got it. I would love, oh man, I would love to get that deck. And yeah, I'm at the point now that I would just love to get that deck. And the guidebook, you know, to go with it. But I don't know if it's going to be reprinted. I think they have a Baby Pandas version, which I think it's the same deck, but in a, it's in a smaller size. The deck is smaller size. But anyway, I'm digressing a little bit here, but yeah, I love decks with animals. I love like angels. I love mermaids, unicorns. Oh my gosh, unicorns, definitely unicorns. So I have quite a few oracle decks with like unicorns, mermaids, angels. I have quite a few like the older like archangel decks. Oh gosh, I'm just very eclectic. It's just kind of what I'm in the mood for. I like novelty decks. Like I like decks, you know, with a sense of humor as well. You know, I like, you know, some silly decks. Like I got, I think one of the decks I have is the Golden Girls Tarot, and I always love the Golden Girls. I can just sit back and just laugh, watch them episodes and just laugh. So I decided to get that deck, you know, just for shits and grins, you know. And it's just kind of what I'm in the mood for. Like I said, I'm very eclectic. So yeah, it's just, if I find the deck pretty, I love colorful decks. Like I like decks with like, you know, a lot of color. I like, you know, fantasy looking decks, you know, kind of thing. Yeah, so I'm not into the ones that are like real sort of, you know, dark, like sort of freaky looking ones. Although I do want to get some more Halloween ones, you know, for Halloween. But yeah, I like more of the fantasy type animals. But again, I'm very eclectic. So again, if I find a deck that's interesting to me, if I feel that it resonates with me, I will definitely want to get it. And you'll kind of see that when you see my collection video, which again, I know the third time I've mentioned that I'm going to do one, and I will. So yeah, you'll kind of see my eclecticness. Is that even a word? I'm a writer. I should know if it's a word, right? But yeah, you'll see how eclectic I am when you see my collection. Okay, so number what do you like in a deck? I think I answered this. I love a good colorful deck. I like a deck with pretty backs, you know, very pretty backings. I've been kind of into like the gold and black lately, like gold and black decks. I like those. I like a deck with good cardstock. I mean, yeah, it's a winner to me if it's got good cardstock. Like if it resonates with me and if it's got good cardstock, I love it. And I love a deck with a detailed guidebook. Yeah. So, and again, fantasy decks, you know, fantasy creatures decks, magical creature decks. Yeah. So that answers that, I think. Okay, number 8 is, what do you dislike in a deck? I hate when a deck has piss poor cardstock. And I think I'm a very tactile person. I go off a lot by texture. I mean, the deck, of course, you know, with the imagery, it has to resonate with me. But I also go off of texture. I'm a very tactile person. And if a deck does not have good cardstock to me, if it feels really weird to me, like if the texture to a deck is off-putting to me, it's really hard for me to attach myself, bond with that deck, if you will. So yeah, I mean, and maybe this goes back to me also being, you know, being a fountain pen collector. I'm a bit of a paper snob too, because like when you write with fountain pens, you need to have good paper, because if you try to write with a fountain pen on, like, let's say 5-star notebook paper or Mead notebook paper, it's not gonna work. You're gonna have a lot of bleed through. It's piss poor paper for fountain pen. Let me just tell you that. So it's probably going back to just loving things like very, very quality, well put together journals with pretty covers, but a journal that has to have, you know, good paper. Same thing with a planner, like a paper planner. To me, it has to be pretty. It has to be pretty, and it has to have good paper. And I think I'm that way with my decks. Like, the deck has to be pretty, it has to resonate with me, of course, but it has to feel good. Like the cardstock has to feel good to me. And if it's poor quality or just off-putting, like feeling really weird, off-putting, you know, very low quality kind of thing, then it's really hard for me to it's really hard for me to want to even use that deck. Yeah, so cardstock, piss poor cardstock is a very, very, very very strong turn off to me. Okay, number 9. What do you not care about in a deck? Yeah, I'm just gonna make sure I read this right. What do you not care about in a deck? I might have answered this already, I think. I'm gonna put down my iPad, and I'm going to grab a drink here. Oh gosh. Yeah. Oh goodness. My adult beverage. Yeah. I should have brought in my water to wet my whistle, but I was, when I was telling you guys to get a drink and stuff, and when I was going to tell you guys about, well, this was before I started that part, but I knew I was going to tell you guys that, and I'm like, okay, adult beverage. But anyway, what do I not care about in a deck? I don't know. I guess, I think, I don't know. I think it just depends on the deck itself. It's hard for me to stereotype something. I know a lot of people are put off by size, like if the deck is too big. And, I mean, oh gosh, pardon the noise out there, my husband is mowing the grass. Anyway, size kind of does matter to me. However, it doesn't, like, it's not going to put me off from getting a deck, because like I have some giant size decks, and I just know for the fact that you know, to shuffle it, it's going to have to be done a little bit differently. I know that. And I have the giant size too, because it's easier for me to study a deck that way. Like if I'm going to study a deck, a bigger size deck is easier for me to study, because I can see it better, you know, because of my visual impairment. And ooh, excuse me. Beer makes me belch, you guys. And I didn't want to let loose with the big one, you know, on camera. That's just rude. Yeah, very charming. Like, I'm a freaking weirdo, but I try to have a little bit of class. Well, most of the time. Anyway, so again, I think a lot of people are put off by size, and for certain things, yeah, size does matter to me, but if I like the deck enough, size doesn't, because again, the giant size is a little bit easier for me to study, you know, due to the visual impairment and, you know, my unique eyesight issues and stuff. But, so, I don't know, it's just, if I like a deck, if it resonates with me, no matter what the size is, but again, you know, like I answered in the other question, if the cardstock sucks, it's really hard for me to want to even associate with that deck. But yeah, so I mean, if it's a deck that I think I'm going to resonate with, if it's something that kind of tickles my fancy, or, you know, I don't want to say yanks my chain, but, you know, kind of turns my head, kind of makes me, you know, have the big-eyed look, you know, kind of thing, you know, then I'm gonna get it. So it just depends. I hope I answered these questions satisfactorily. This is just, you know, the best I knew how to do it. And yeah, I know I got quite a bit long-winded. I do apologize for that, but I did warn you guys, I like to jibber jabber, I like to chat. I will talk your damn ear off, I will. So this was a lot of fun to do. Thank you so much, Rachele, for doing this tag and you know, making me aware of it, because I don't know that I would have seen it otherwise. So thank you, girlfriend. Mwah. Yeah, thank you so much for that. And I'm going to try to find the original video on, I think her name is Cody. I think it's her channel. I'm going to try to find the original video on her channel and watch that, you know, just to see what she has to say. But thank you so much, Rachele. This was so much fun to do, and I kind of feel like a lot of your answers resonated with me because I just, you know, I felt the exact same way that you did. So anyway, guys, I do hope you enjoyed this, long-windedness and all. So I'm going to go ahead and get this thing edited and get this uploaded for you guys to look at. And if you're still here with me, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Okay, guys, sorry about that. My camera, my camera likes to go off after so long, and so I was kind of talking to myself for a couple of minutes and not realizing the camera had gone off. But I was just saying that if you're still here, I really, really appreciate it so much. I appreciate you guys just being here and supporting me, and you know, on this journey that I'm going on, this pathway. I really do appreciate that, and I hope, you know, I hope I can make the ride for you guys enjoyable. Thank you so much for being here. I do hope you enjoyed the video, and I'm going to go ahead and get off of here and get this thing edited. Please, 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 please be kind to each other. Have an awesome day, and sending you lots and lots and lots and lots of love. Lots and lots of love and hugs, and take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and sending you lots of love and light. All right, bye everybody.